Hello guys, this is Modest Major here today, and I wanted to make a quick little video about something that really been bugging me. And when I say been bugging me, I mean to the point that I'm sat there last night trying to get to sleep, having a relaxing thing, and this thought is just like rolling around my head of GameFreak and the new Pokemon Arceus and how bad I think it looks. Now, I am by no means a graphics whore, I don't think. I think I'm, like, actually pretty low on the scale. Like, you know, I've got a RTX 3070 graphics card or whatever it is now, and I mostly play Melee, maybe Genshin Impact on it. You know, I'm not playing high-budget games. I'm not someone who, like, you know, there's a lot of times I'll play a game on Xbox so I can sit in bed with it, you know, with my controller and just chill and be a lazy person and not set anything up on the PC because I'm so lazy. I don't want to sit on my PC chair, let's say. So I don't think I'm, like, attacking Pokemon Arceus from an angle of, like, oh, man, you know, graphics are just getting worse. Every year, graphics are trash. I'm more criticizing this trailer, right, from the perspective of, I think that GameFreak are taking Pokemon fans for a ride with Pokemon Arceus. I think they're having a laugh. And I guess one of the reasons I'm more annoyed is because I don't actually think there's as much outrage as there could be. You know, you see 500 dislikes on this video. Then there's a newer Pokemon Arceus trailer that came out, which I forgot to put in this bloody playlist. Which this one has, you know, 109, that's on GameSpot actually. Let me try and find this one. Gotcha. Right, extended overview, 499. One step closer to the Pokemon game we all dreamed of as kids. Happy to see them finally attempt something that hopefully feels different. La 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 la. I'm not seeing it, boys. To me, this looks like, you know, I'll tell you the world in which I get hyped for this game. There's a new Kickstarter trailer from an upcoming indie developer. And let's say they're not using actual Pokemon assets, they're using, you know, spin-off Pokemon that are essentially Pokemon, but not Pokemon. And I look at this trailer and I think, wow, who are these guys? They've done a lot of good work. We're not looking at that right now. We're looking at GameFreak. Do people forget how big GameFreak are? GameFreak are, like, Disney levels of merchandise. Pokemon cards are making bank right now. And you're releasing this? Have you looked at the fucking textures? And even if you take the perspective of, oh, well, yeah, but guys, come on, like, the Switch doesn't look great. The Switch is not like a, you know, particularly overly good-looking console. That's not the problem here. The problem is that the biomes look like they have no fucking effort put in it. Look at these trees, man. These trees might as well have been copy-pasted. The grass looks like just the same. It's just rolling plains of grass. I mean, I know people say that Breath of the Wild had that problem to an extent, but this is way worse. This is just open areas. And, like, Sword and Shield had this, but, like, Sword and Shield had other areas that I would even give credit for, like more differentiation in biomes. When you've got snow, this is just all snow. Why isn't there, like, more to it? I feel like they've gone for this, like, Arceus old-timey sort of like, oh, you know, this is from, let's say, a little bit like older Japan. So it's meant to be a bit more prehistoric. I feel like they're doing that as a cover for this game to just look bland as anything. You know, just because you're in a snow biome doesn't mean that you can not have icy waterfalls or icicle trees or snow falling that looks way more vivid than this. And I'm not trying to attack the developers at GameFreak. I think they're actually capable. You know, even newer Pokemon designs can look really good. And, you know, you go back as far as to Black and White, I think the Pokemon designs were amazing coming out at that sort of time. This is probably about crunch and about GameFreak just not giving the resources, the necessary resources. This is probably one of the more interesting looking areas, and, you know, maybe you could make the argument that for scale of the game, they're allowed a little bit of leeway, but I think mostly it's bullshit. This, again, there's so much cloning going on here. of like not making this look like a vibrant and distinct town, but making it look like it's, we'll give it enough difference in colors of houses, let's say, so that it looks like we've put in work, but it's flat, muddy textures, it's boring looking house designs with no like interesting architecture, and to me there's just, it's insulting with the amount of money and the amount of resources that they could put into games. Games is what made GameFreak to begin with. Like, let's not forget their history. You know, Pokemon games, you should respect your IP more. You know, Nintendo do a really good job of this usually on their first parties of like, hey, this is an old IP that we worked on. We need to uphold the legacy and the tradition of a Zelda game. We can't just release a Zelda game. Even their spin-off games most of the time are amazingly high quality. And games that just seem like, you know, that remake, for example, of, what's the one with the egg in the cover? Link's Awakening, I want to call it. You know, that could have been something that was cobbled together, but they didn't do that because it's a mainline Zelda title. And I don't see why the same doesn't happen to Pokemon. And if you look at Pokemon's anime TV shows and stuff like that, they do a lot of work on making sure that the quality is upheld, that the animation is really great, and that they bring every Pokemon that they put to life. And there's clearly so much thought and so much time and preparation. And I think they don't give a crap about the games. I think when the games come out, they're just like, let's put this together. You know, gamers will eat it up. We can make a little budget, keep them a little bit happy because, you know, you got to do the gamers, but we care about real life integral stuff to the series. We want to sell our Pokemon cards. We want to sell our merchandise. This sort of stuff looks like a really good Unity project that someone's putting together, to me. That's what it looks like. Like, I'm not saying it doesn't look good in some ways, because I think if this was a smaller studio, I'd be thinking this is sick. But this is GameFreak, right? And the thing I hate as well is hearing these arguments about, like, oh, well, you know, at the end of the day, what it comes down to is that the Switch has worse hardware. I don't think that's true because, again, I think it is a biome problem. If you look at Kirby and the Forgotten Land, look at, again, the scale of this game looks pretty huge, and each biome you're going to is very diverse. When you've got water, you're seeing corals, you're seeing all these interesting, you know, island designs, different biomes in small places. You've got a bit of urban, you've got a bit of, you know, they're really way more experimental, and the colors are just that much more vibrant. The art design looks like it's had masses of work put into it, and it just, to me, I mean, look at this compared to Arceus. Do you think you're getting anything like that in Arceus? You know, I'm so excited for Kirby right now because I think it looks like a game that's actually had like masses of time and effort put into it. They're not concentrating on their Kirby trading cards instead, or their Kirby plushies. You know, they have lines of Kirby merchandise that does very, very, very well. But this isn't something that is lacking focus. You just wouldn't see this sort of attention to detail in the worlds, and it's not a graphics problem. It infuriates me that people are delusional enough and for some reason like corporate lobbyists enough to be like, Game Freak are just nice guys, you know, it's probably the Switch. Why are you sticking up for a multi-billion-dollar corporation? Hammer them a bit. They don't deserve this. They're making a Pokemon game that looks like it's hashed together. The amount of Pokemon variety looks disappointing. The Pokemon designs are taken from 3DS, and people are lapping it up in the comments. Say, oh, you know, it's going to be the Pokemon game that we've been waiting for, that we've been dreaming of. I don't know what you've been dreaming of, mate. Your dreams are shit. Your dreams are fucking basic, mate. They can do better. They can do a lot better. Another thing I wanted to show you was this VR MMO coming out, and I think this is an example of VR has massive limitations because of the you know, the hardware that is present, and if you look at the attention to detail in these places, you can see that the textures are not good. They don't look great, but they've clearly gone to great extents to flesh out the world, build the world, and make it look unique and diverse enough that you can kind of be distracted from that. I don't think I'm going to go in thinking this looks like a bad graphics game, because I'm going to play it and I'm going to be like, look how much, you know, lush, you know, wildlife, diversity, everywhere you look, you're like looking at something new. When I look in Arceus, everywhere I look, I'm just going to be seeing a repeated texture, a copy and pasted asset, And it's just so disappointing. I'm such a Pokemon fan. And yeah, of course I've been waiting for an open world Pokemon game for the longest time. But this ain't it, Chief Mate. This is garbage. And maybe people are thinking, oh, you know, well, because like bloody... It's not really a mainline Pokemon game. This is more of a spin-off or something like that. I don't know if people are giving it that excuse. I don't know what excuse they're giving it. But this is like, you know, what is this supposed to be? A beach area, mate? It looks drab. It looks depressing. There's no, like, sand, you know, like, depth differences or, like, terrain differences. It's just one big flat plane. The trees in the background look boring. You can pretty much click anywhere on this video and just see something that is underwhelming to look at. And again, not from a graphics perspective. Look at this crap, and they're just random rock chunks. They, again, look like assets on a game design engine that are just like, chuck it there. Make it look like a, you know, big terrain. You know, it's big enough. They won't notice. It's huge. And, you know, it's just so disappointing to me because to me, it feels like, well, you know, Pokemon are like giving us a drip feed when it comes to games of like, they don't give us exactly what we want or even close to what we want for so long that people get a taste of what they want and they're like, oh my god, thank you GameFreak so much, you've really gone and done it. They were a game developer first and foremost. They have the money to do better. They have the resources. You're not helping out Indie Joe down the street and saying, you know what, Joe, you've really done a good job. You put your school project together, you had a couple of friends from coursework and you put it together. No, mate, they have the money, the resources. They could work with Nintendo. Anything could happen. But they're just rushing stuff out the door for no apparent reason. And I just don't get why. And I don't think it's Nintendo's fault. I imagine this company are just weird. I imagine the people in charge are just strange people. And I find myself looking so much more forward to Kirby when I'm not even interested in the IP of Kirby. I don't give a damn about Kirby. You know, obviously I love Kirby in Smash Bros. To an extent, but he was a low tier, so I didn't play him that much. I'm not a crazy Kirby guy. I'm more of a Sonic guy, a Mario guy. So there's no bias coming into this of like, oh, you know, well, I'm a bit of a Kirby hipster, and I've always just liked Kirby. I like Pokemon 10 million times more, but Pokemon looks like a 10th of the quality that has been put into this game and a 10th of the effort, and, you know, it's not a hardware problem because it's coming out on the Switch, and we all need to take Game Freak's balls out of our mouth a little bit and just say, hey, you know, you make nice cards, you make nice animes, can you make us a nice game now and then? You know, Sword and Shield, pretty underwhelming when it comes down to it. You know, I think what's good there is based off how strong an IP Pokemon is, not based off how much effort was put into Sword and Shield. I don't think Sword and Shield really deserves that much credit outside of, like, a couple, you know, really good, unique Pokemon designs. Outside of that, there's not really much going for it, and Arceus just looks like it's heading more in that direction of underwhelming, lack of effort, could have done with more game development time, could have done with more effort, more focus, and I just don't think it meets the quality that Nintendo as a company are capable of, and that the money that is invested in these sort of companies is capable of producing. And I think it's sad. I think people are... Game Freak thinks gamers are idiots. They think they're the stupidest people ever. And they're, you know, proving themselves right, because Arceus is gonna sell like hotcakes. We all know it is. The trailers are banging. They're doing numbers. People are excited. And people are just letting them get away with murder when it comes to, like, what they could be capable of designing and what they are designing. And to me, it's, like, it's just so disappointing. And I expect better from them, and I want better from them, because Pokemon, again, is one of my favorite IPs. I love it to death. You know, Pokemon Snap. Let's look at the new Pokemon Snap in comparison, just to round out this video, right? This shit looked great, and do you know why? Because it was made by fucking Bandai Namco. And they actually thought, yeah, it's the Pokemon IP. We love Pokemon. Let's put fucking design into the fucking environments, make it look cool, vibrant, atmospheres that suit the actual Pokemon that are in each environment. And we're in a fantasy setting. They're not tied down by realism or reality. These settings should be bright, colourful, diverse. You know, when you go to lava, it should be magma spewing. Everything should be going on. And, yeah... It's just, it's very, very upsetting to me to get this sort of, get this sort of thing happening. So anyway, I've been Modest Major. Hope you guys see where I'm coming from with this. Peace out.